We don't know that yet, but you know, the officers, they're all, you know, they if it was a stolen vehicle, you know.
This was GTA. They'd be slamming you into a wall right now.
Getting ahead of him. They might spike him. They might try to spike his bitch ass.
Big rig. Well, that matches the description, and it's.
What's happened?
You know, you don't.
Crazy.
What's going on?
Whenever you know, normally when I see someone run away in a semi, they get slammed into a wall.
Yeah, that's what I'm confused about. Normally when you get slammed into a wall, this guy's getting away scot-free.
I'm saying, where the fuck Matt Rhodes with his scout?
It had to be some type of infraction for the officers to run that plate and try to light him up. But clearly, he didn't stop in Fontana. He hasn't stopped in any of the other cities. Well, he has technically stopped. You're right, but we've seen that he stopped in the roadway. But it hasn't come to an end anywhere, and it just continues on. Still, those speeds were about 43 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour. Fontana PD. It's difficult. I really.
Oh no, they're gonna spike. Where's the spikes? Where's the spikes?
They're chasing him right now. It's, you know.
Who's this just chilling next to him? Is there a barrier here?
They have
how y'all bring this shit in?
Police departments, they have protocols.
They got spiked.
Yeah, he's gonna get spiked 100%.
Oh,
they're getting out. Someone's getting out.
Someone's getting out.
I'm sure that's not on
Is that a hostage?
You know, approved ways to bring a pursuit to
I think
an
he's
end.
trying to get
So how do they bring it to an end? And just following it, you know, that command presence, you know, hey, we're right behind you. You need to pull over. We're seeing it, but it doesn't seem to be working for that driver.
He's toying with the officers following him right now, and what was interesting,
someone's
the moment
getting
he stopped to throw out that bottle on Commonwealth Avenue, they were circling the residential area. At that point, the passenger had his window down and talked to somebody.
Nah, look how many cops they have just for a semi truck.
Officers
the fuck?
go back and then talk to that person and say,
Nah.
what did he say? What's the
That's
state
what
of
I'm
mind?
saying, bro. These guys just getting a debrief and they're fucking like, damn. Air one for a deboost. That's fucking sad.
Hold on, is that? See that? Y'all see that motherfucker? Pretty sure it's Denzel Shiesty in primary right there.
Oh shit! For all we know, the guy was just yelling at him, "Hey, pull over! What are you doing? You know, bring this thing to a stop." But we just don't know. But of course, if they can, I'm sure that they would. Like if this was an LAPD pursuit and we were in LAPD's area, they would have a number of units. The description would have gone out, and somebody probably would have gone by and, you know, see if they could locate that person. In this case, they have a limited number of officers, and with them from their departments. So
I wonder what even this, like, what did it even all start from?
It probably didn't, because they probably felt like all those units that are behind this vehicle are needed in case this comes to some sort of end and there's a standoff and or a foot.
I don't get why don't they just pick this motherfucker? There's nobody on the highway.
So that's
okay. Now we're trolling.
I don't know, but I gave you a list of possibilities.
That is not pitable. That is not pitable.
Northbound 5 and
unless you're Matt Rhodes.
Continuing on, this is one of those ones. Like I said, we could be watching this for some.
That shit is not pitable, bro.
And
you're bugging.
goodness, a lot of the public not getting involved.
Is that a UC or is that just someone just speeding just to speed?
And got off just in time because the 2 or 3 CHP vehicles that sped by this vehicle on the 91, a quarter mile up ahead, they had the units on the shoulder and they were getting ready.
Bro, you gotta do like a jump or something, bro. Like, what's going on here?
He's gonna take a jump, yeah.
Behind a pursuit like this when the suspect's driving way below the speed limit because nobody.
What's the speeds at? What are they going, like fucking 60? I thought they're going like 60, 70.
No, he's going like 30, bro.
That is not 30. That is not 30.
I'm telling you, he's going like 50.
No,
the other one I was
50.
looking at,
he's going 50.
was like 50. They maxed out like 50.
Yeah, those semis max out like 80, 100.
I would say about 30 minutes ago. The same area, and traffic was stopped, but it's thinned out. It's just that time of the morning where all of a sudden now, later in the morning, the 5 freeway doesn't look too bad. We're on the 5 northbound, crossing the 91. Pull out of the shot just a little bit, if you would, Josh. You'll see.
Okay, Air 1 for
7 cops and Air 1 for this, bro.
Keep an eye. But you also have these 5 or 6, actually, count them 7. Fontana.
Bro, I'm telling you, but that passenger might be a hostage, by the way. Because every time the car stops, he's trying to get out. I think he's a hostage.
They're trying to stop all traffic behind the suspect from continuing past them. Every now and then I'll see a vehicle though, and I'm
telling you, that guy's 100% a
hostage. I
hostage.
really think they're going to go in between these PD cars and get in front of them. But right now we're on the northbound 5. We're still in Fullerton. We're headed up into Buena Park. And it wouldn't surprise me if the suspect gets off the freeway once again at this spot and then makes himself back to the area that he was earlier. Sure, that's the
Oh, never mind. It
I
says
think
on
he's
the
waiting
bottom
for
left.
Air One to go refuel.
Oh, it says on the bottom left that he's a hostage. Oh, fuck,
we're
never
on La
mind.
Palma for
I'm
a
stupid.
moment and back on Burkhurst. So we are seeing a pattern.
Wait, so the guy has a
When we see
gun?
patterns,
He might
it
have
is
a
easier to
blower,
set
though.
up
He might have a
spike
blower. This
strips,
shit might get wicked,
because
though.
when patterns happen, you
He might be
think,
looking at
well, if
attempted
he heads
murder of a
back to the
government
same
employee.
spot, we'll get a unit to hide with a spike
And he's
strip
gonna go
and
prison
make
for
it
how many
out.
months?
It's only like 20
That
months.
will help.
That's only
But
like 20 months,
besides
yeah, that's
that,
not
I
bad.
don't see that there's much in the way of strategy to stop this until the suspect gives up or runs out of fuel.
Yeah.
Nah, you know where he going to
We were
the
just
top of the
saying
vault
something
right now to hold down.
Listening to our producer as we get ready for the 11 a.m. newscast again.
He's
You
calling
are
his
watching
dogs
a
his
special
chicken
edition
factory,
of
chicken
Eyewitness News at 11. But you were talking about the fuel. How these I mean, they are long haul. These vehicles are meant for long haul rides, and they could have been completely full, and we don't know exactly what is going on. I feel for the CHP who on the 5 and on the 91 trying to figure out, is this driver going to go back onto the freeway?
What
And
is
if they're trying to
CHP?
get ahead of it, it's very complicated.
45. Yeah, and we're back in the same spot. If you've been with us for a while, then you've seen the semi turn onto Commonwealth before. And it's not far from here, that spot where the semi drove by a surface street. I forget the name of that street, but it was in a residential area almost. And we had half a dozen people come out and try and get their attention and wave at them. So it's hard to believe that they were just out because of social media and knew he was heading in that direction. So we could see there's some people out on the street there. This could be the same spot we were at before. Boy, they want to get out or they want to grab something from that vehicle or put
What do you
something on
grab?
top.
They
Oh,
crashed.
we got the Suave. Oh, shit.
Oh my goodness, we never see this.
Yo, you guys are delayed as fuck.
That's Matt Rhodes right there.
Into the semi on the side, came out of nowhere. We didn't even see that vehicle. We hadn't known it was here, and they came in and just slammed into the side of that semi with their armored vehicles. So now you have two vehicles, and they're both really heavy. I'm not sure. I've never
What was the
seen
other
it,
one
but
I had? I
maybe
feel
they
like the
could
other
do a
one was
pit
better,
maneuver with that armored vehicle. If the semi tries to make a turn and it's
Oh, he
slow
about
enough
to
for
hit
it
that
speed,
motherfucker.
and
Oh,
they
never
can
mind.
get behind it and hit the rear, they can get it to spin out. There's
nah,
no
he's
way
going
with the center
faster
of
than the
gravity on a
SWAT vehicle.
semi like this, a tractor portion, that it's going to overturn. As long as it doesn't have too high a rate of speed. But if he comes up behind it right now and he makes a turn, and he can tap him right in the rear of the vehicle,
That's a
he
bad
could possibly get him to spin
Nah,
out.
that
One reason
motherfucker's
I don't
scared
think
to pit
there was a
in.
vehicle in that intersection. With two heavy vehicles, that's extremely dangerous. But wow, we saw that came out of
The other
nowhere.
one's
We did not see
delayed,
that
though.
coming when the armored vehicle slammed into that semi.
That was unbelievable. That came really. It was a shocking.
That was kind of
I've
fucked
never
though,
seen
no?
that
Like, what if the dude
before.
hanging out of the window just got fucking, he pitted him then?
With
Oh,
one
shit,
of
look,
these
he hit the
cases,
fuel
but now you
tank.
have that armored vehicle following
Was he leaking?
this
Is that
tractor,
Fontana?
but
Don't-
again,
don't
it's
look like
very,
it.
very interesting.
Actually,
Again,
he
I
might be
wanna,
leaking a little
welcome our
bit.
viewers. You are watching Eyewitness News at 11 a.m. I'm Colleen Sullivan.
If he's
Philip
leaking,
Palmer
that's
is
fucking
also
bad.
with-
That's
and I
really
want
bad.
to welcome our viewers. You are watching Eyewitness News at 11 a.m. I'm Colleen Sullivan.
Is the guy even a
Philip
hostage,
Palmer
though? I
is
mean,
also with us.
Didn't he? I
Obviously,
swear it looked
Scott
like he
Rife
just
is
picked
with
something
us,
up
as
off the
well as
fucking
Bruce
roof.
Open
Thomas.
up a little bit.
We're following this pursuit. We've been following for a good part of the last 40 minutes or so, 45 minutes, where we know that this is a stolen tractor. We know that there's a passenger inside there.
Like,
We
wouldn't you
have
just
been
get out there?
Confirmed from the
That vehicle
CHP
right there is the
that there
undercover
is a
vehicle that passed
passenger
them
who's being
earlier.
held against their
Yep.
will. Now you're seeing
They know who this guy is.
They exactly, Scott. You know, Philip,
this
if
the
you
same
want to
spot
join us.
before?
Well, I was going to say we learned a lot.
Wait,
in
was
the
that the
last couple of
passenger that
minutes.
was hanging out of the
One of
window?
I don't know that that person is being held against their
exact
will,
same
given
spot,
the
I think.
fact that they reached out, grabbed something, got back into the
Yeah,
car.
see?
So that might have changed
Did
things.
someone block
And
something?
we've seen that that they are ready to
Where's the
stop
blocks?
this
Where's the
chase.
blocks?
As Scott zoomed in a moment ago, you can see the damage done to one of the fuel tanks on the back from where the SWAT vehicle hit it. On the other side, Scott, we could see that it.
Oh no, they're on
basically
Grove
crushed
Street. Look,
that
they're on
tank.
Grove. They just passed Grove. Look
No,
at
yeah,
that.
but we didn't see
They're
anything come
passing
out of it,
Grove
so
right
we
now.
didn't
if it's
see it lose
empty-
a lot of fuel.
Yeah, if it was already empty.
They're in the
who
south
knows?
side. They're in the south side.
We're back in the same spot, though, Philip, and, we're following along, just watching the semi like
Wait,
this.
that's a
It
good
started
line,
to
I
slow,
think.
and then out of nowhere, it wasn't behind him, out of nowhere came that armored vehicle
did
and
he
slammed
grab?
right into the side.
did he grab?
Obviously, they were hoping they could have done enough damage right there or pinned the vehicle, so this would have been over, but we're in a residential area now. This is really frightening. You got a lot of vehicles out here. You've got kids that could be out playing.
so delayed.
We don't see high rates of speed, but, you can't just hit the brakes on that semi and expect it, the semi-tractor, and expect it to stop real quick.
Is he going in for it?
I really believe they're thinking about it. They just need an area that is safe, and then that semi-tractor.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like whoever's in the passenger had like plenty.
Hit it from behind and
I mean,
get that spun out, and then hopefully get
I feel like they had plenty of times to get out of the car.
Get this to stop.
Nah, they're driving through like fucking Rockford Hills, man. Look at these houses, they're nice as fuck.
It's really difficult to stop this, but now we know the strategy: a pit maneuver or even ramming that tractor.
Well, that's the thing. Clearly, at a high rate of speed, this vehicle would cause a lot of damage. But even at
this should look like Mirror Park.
It can just
kind of Mirror Park.
I'd like to show that video one more time that we were just looking at. This is what
they're
I'm
going
talking
to the Sac Hydra bus.
See how he reached out and he got back in. So that's what made me think,
okay,
this is no longer a person against their will. He is a
grab
participant.
something.
Now, I could be wrong.
He grabbed something.
Clearly, he could have been coerced to do that. But something was on the roof of that vehicle that he very specifically reached out, got it, and that's when they took their shot. Is when they tried to move him over. But now, if Bruce is still around, you know, Bruce, that gives the person in the cab of that truck an idea.
Imagine they did these in the UK.
What the police are thinking when they go that aggressively to try to get him to stop.
Yeah, Philip, you know, I have actually never seen a ramming with a Bearcat like that before, but I think what they've determined is there is no way to stop this big rig cab. Without, I mean, you can't do a pit maneuver.
Oh, here we go. He's getting in front of it. He's in front of it.
So
He's fucked.
Bearcat is what they need.
Here we go, Bruce. We're going to interrupt you and go back to Scott.
Oh, they pinned him in. That's an undercover vehicle. They're out of their cars.
Oh shit! They got the guns out. They got the guns out.
Pinned somewhat, but with a semi-tractor like that, if he puts it in reverse, he'll just push
look at the guys with the slot shot with the rifle.
But right now they've got him surrounded. The Bearcat pulled in front just moments ago.
8 yards for this. 8 yards for this.
And at least for now, what we have is a standoff, and we haven't seen the suspects.
Look at the guy on the roof of the SWAT vehicle.
The Bearcat pulled in front, but you see the undercover vehicles. There's 3 of them there. There's more Fontana PD. This is a caper. I'm sure they were on way back in Fontana. They know
got a camera.
They're not going to let him get away. They're not.
He breaking cuffs. He breaking cuffs. I ain't gonna lie.
Suspect that this is a hardened criminal. They've been following and they want.
Oh, never mind. He's got a fucking riot shield.
Right now we just have a standoff. But look at all the Fontana PD officers. And he's getting out. It looks like the door is opening right now. It's a critical moment.
Scott, you may not be able to see it, but the passenger is also out, hands up.
Right.
So that person on the other side is out right now, and then now they're trying to get to the driver.
Yeah, and this is a critical moment right now. When the driver gets out, they don't know what they're dealing with, but if this driver makes a sudden move, they have guns drawn on this individual. And right now it looks like he is cooperating with their commands. He's probably going to back up, maybe open his shirt up or pull it up to make sure there's nothing in his waistband, but more than likely he'll be down on the ground here in a moment. And at this point in time, we don't know what they think about the passenger, if that's a suspect or if that is someone, as we mentioned, may have been held against their will. That will depend on how they treat that individual, but they have to get that person in custody. They have the dog. And now you can see they're moving on to the passenger, and the passenger does not appear to be an individual that was held against their power or kidnapped and wants to give themselves up. It looks like they're actually not obeying the commands of officers right now. They have their guns drawn on that individual. This is a scary moment. Be careful here, Josh. If they have to open fire, which they look pretty intense right now.
No,
and
that's
it doesn't
crazy.
look like the passenger is just willingly giving
they kicked
themselves
him and cuffed him at the same time, bro. That's
but
like,
we did see that passenger open the door right away once that tractor was surrounded and pinned. That door opened, those 2 hands came up, so they have been right there. So we're not quite sure because we obviously don't have ears on the ground to see if that person is not doing the commands. But again, we're obviously, they are very careful, and you can see what a powerful show of force because you see so many of the undercover cars that were involved. Because at first, Philip, we just thought maybe there was 1 or 2, but to see so many swarm right into this location, really unbelievable.
Well, at that spot where they aggressively slammed into the side, it almost looked as if there was an undercover SUV in that parking lot because they actually ran into that. But this is an interesting thing because he's got something in his hand.
Right.
And he's not letting that go. So they can actually, it seems to me, have cleared the cab of a third person. It seems as if that is also something they needed to make sure they did. So now you've got this one person, and they're not going to get on the other side because you don't want to put officers in the line of fire. So now here he comes, and he's putting whatever that is on the ground. That might be what he picked up off of the roof of that vehicle.
I'm not quite sure, but we'll obviously keep looking at that video. But you can see now this person is certainly obeying the commands. When you have that many guns drawn at you, I think you're going to do exactly what you're told and not put up a fight. But we saw them. These suspects get very close to law enforcement, and then, you know, in a second we're going to see them push right in and put them right on the ground there.
Well, what was also very interesting to me, when you try to put yourself in the mind of these two people, when that SWAT vehicle pulled around in front and that officer had rifle trained right through that front windshield in the direction at them, that pretty much changed everything. Because if you notice that SWAT right out of the top hatch, there was an officer right there, and he had his weapon pointed straight through the front windshield. So that's going to change your demeanor very quickly.
Chance,
and it looked like that's what put this. That's what ended this.
Very dramatic.
Without further incident.
Absolutely. You know, we have.
That's like Jamal, bro. Jamal doesn't break cuffs.
You know, I don't want to not kind of discuss the one moment when you saw that Bearcat ram the tractor at the very beginning when we saw the Bearcat being introduced to part of this pursuit.
That's what they're doing at
There
D-Boost
was
nowadays.
somebody inside
they bring a
that
heli
looked
for
like
D-Boost, bro, and a
it was
fucking
a
SWAT
large
truck.
black
Sickening.
SUV, and they were parked there. They didn't even see it coming. I was thinking they certainly weren't in park, or maybe that car wouldn't have been able to be pushed forward. So we'll certainly find out how that car is doing. I don't think they suffered any injuries but they had to be so startled. It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was the vehicle. If we have that video, I wasn't positive, but that was the vehicle that
All right, that's it. I'm dipping. Good chase.
You don't have to turn
You're not
it
even
off.
going to turn it off? You just leave it on?
Bro, what do you? How am I gonna? You can't turn it off, bro.